Hey guys, it's Nick Fulks here with Fulks Custom Cranks. Recently, this past week, I got in a big old box of vintage lures. A gentleman reached out to me in Ohio, said he had a big old collection of baits that I don't know if it was a friend of his or if it was his collection, but he wanted to get rid of them. Ended up costing me about $2,000. That being said, there is a lot of goodies in here, so I kind of want to do a different video than what we've been doing. Change it up a little bit, kind of show you guys what all I bought. Basically, this is like a Facebook Marketplace purchase, just online. So, bunch of vintage tackle, vintage crankbaits. You guys know I'm a vintage crankbait nut. Uh, at all the shows we go to, I'll have a lot of these vintage baits with me. Gonna paint a lot of these, and some of these are gonna end up in the personal collection. So, gonna walk through them all. Show you guys more of the higher end stuff. When you buy, I think there's close to 1,500 crankbaits in here. You're gonna have a lot of good. You're gonna have some bad. You're gonna have a lot just down the middle, just solid crankbaits. So, try to walk you guys through this big old lot we bought and show you what we got. They all have hooks and everything on them, so it's going to be a little tricky to pull them out, but I'm pretty used to getting hooked, so we'll see what we can make happen here. This gentleman, all these individual Ziplocs here were originally like 3,700 trays. Of course, shipping, 10 3,700s by plane, it would cost a lot. So I was like, hey, just chuck them in Ziplocs. Gives me a project to do over the summer to get all these banded up, get these taken care of. First little handful here we have looks like a bunch of Norman crankbaits. This bone one down here, I'm actually not sure who the maker of that is. Some Rebels, actually a really deep diving Rebel. I've never seen that. Bunch of Norman plugs. Let's see what else we can get into here. If you guys deal with crankbaits or have a bunch of old rusty treble hooks like this, you kind of know what we're dealing with here. Next little handful, looks like we have some cheaper end stuff. Bomber walleye plug there. Some cool transparent Normans. A lot of Normans, put it that way. That's another, had like a DD14, a lot of DD deep little ends. I probably have 1,000 deep little ends just from buying lots like this, because it seems like anytime I buy a crankbait lot like this, there's just a pile of Norman deep little ends in there. The rest of the bag in here, see if we can get them all on hooks. Like I said, there's going to be a little bit of tetanus floating around with these and everything. That's just the name of the game when you're dealing with old crankbaits. Drop an old Shad wrap. Looks like it's an Ireland made, so that's a good one. We got a glass wrap, more Normans, old Bomber. Then there's a cool little one that is a Storm Lightning Shad, pre-Rapala, of course. It's in a crawdad color. That's pretty much it for bag one there. Nothing super crazy. A lot of $3 to $5 crankbaits. So that's kind of how I make my money back on these lots. Lets me take the good ones out, paint them, and then the bulk stuff that you end up with, like a lot of just random trolling plugs, a lot of Normans. I sell them for $3 to $5 at our shows that we do. So bag number one. Bag number two looks like a bunch of more random baits. Kind of looks like some wiggle wart style baits. I do see a couple OG warts in here. And I know there's another bag full of OG warts somewhere in my little box here. So, nice little handful. That one right there is pre-wrap. These are Cordell Wiggle O's. This one right here is a pre-wrap wart. That's one of them transition warts right there, which we talked about during the live stream. In between the pre and the post-wrap. And more Wiggle O's by Cordell. I've never fished them. They look like a wiggle wart. If you guys have fished them before, comment down below. So definitely on these, we're going to take these pre-Rapala wiggle warts and sandblast them and paint them. So some good little money makers in there. That's a really deep diving Bomber. I've never seen a build like that on a Bomber, actually. Some Rebel crawls mixed in the mess as well. Let's see what else is in here. little bit more of the same here. We got some more Rebel Crawls, another Transition Series wart, some Wiggle-O's, Rebel Crawls. Looks like his kind of his crawfish box probably. There's another Transition wart, so a little bit better bag there. We got a bunch of $3 to $5 Wiggle-O's, but some OG Wiggle warts and Transition warts and some other Norman oddballs as well. Bunch of goodies. That's the thing with an old school crankbait, is being old school. It's probably going to be a good one. I mean, there's a lot of crankbaits made in their time that weren't very good, but a lot of guys like the old school stuff. A lot of the guys will know what's all in these bags. They'll be able to ID them here online and everything. And I'm sure a lot of you guys will be like, "Oh, he called that a bad bait," but you might like it. So if I ever say it's a bad bait, don't take my word for it. This little bag is a treble hook nightmare. It has got a bunch of, I want to say lower end, looks like Lucky Craft, but they're Lucky Craft knockoffs. Some reef runners. I don't even know if I can get these ones out because there's 50 some jerk baits in this bag. Just take my word for it. We got reef runners, some, like I said, they're like a bevy shad knockoff. There's no Lucky Craft inscription on them, so I'm assuming they're not Lucky Craft. Do see a Storm Thunder stick in here. My guess is, seeing I bought these in Ohio, this was probably a walleye box. I do have some walleye customers, so won't be an issue to get rid of these for $2 to $3 each. Really go through and make sure there's no real good ones in there. But yeah, the walleye market, there's flicker shads, a lot of $2 to $3 trolling baits right there that will catch a lot of walleye on Erie for someone. Let's see. How about another bag of Normans? At least majority of Normans. These definitely are the old butyrate Normans. I can tell as soon as I open this Ziploc. If they had smell-o-vision, you'd be smelling what butyrate smells like. The guys that have collections of old Normans know about the stink of them, but fishermen like that stink, so slowly getting these all out. Try not to get a hook into me. So, bunch of Normans. Looks like we got some DD14s. Might be all DD14s in here. At least I think that's the size. That's not a DD22. Bill's not big enough, but the bait's the size of the DD22. Yeah, I call that one mainly Normans. You got some of these other interesting, I would just call them walleye trolling plugs. Not sure the maker on those. Have to look them up or see if it's anything of value. So, next show season, just know I'll have a lot of old school Normans with me. All of these will be available with us at the shows. It's just kind of hard to sell all these online because you can see the amount of vintage tackle and vintage crankbaits I acquire. This looks like a cool bag. Looks like we have some Bagley baits, but not the standard Bagley baits you're used to. These are trolling Bagleys. Don't know the exact name of them. There's a whole pile of them in here. I've seen these before, but I've never bought this many. Being an older Bagley, that might be worth something. It's something I got to look into. But yeah, you can see, I mean, that's all Bagley trolling plugs there. There's a name on it. Bagley Smoo number 3. Maybe that's the bait, is the Smoo number 3s, number 4s. Not sure on the Bagley era of those, but something to look up. Literally the entire bag, there is 30 of them, of all these Bagley Smoos. So probably an old school walleye trolling bait that they did for the Great Lakes walleye guys around me. This actually is a cool color here. Never seen a color like that. I think that's purple. You know me, I'm colorblind. Let's see something good in this bag. This bag's kind of a hodgepodge of some thunder sticks, some really old baits, but the one that's catching my eye is another Bagley in here. Oh, there's a couple Bagleys in here. One I know is an old one because they never made them again. Just got to work them out. So the two that caught my eye here on top, that's a Bagley Fat Cat, chrome blue. It's a really cool bait. Then it looks like a Bagley. It might be a newer Bagley, unfortunately, but it looks like a honeybee maybe. But if it's a honeybee waker, it's kind of interesting. Just caught my eye. I know the Fat Cat's worth a little bit of money because they never reproduce those. Then a lot of this, the rest in this one are some Storm Thunder Sticks that all have 3 hooks that are stuck in every which part of the bag. Again, this will be a fun summer project, but bunch of Storm Suspending Thunder Sticks. These are all pre-Rapala ones. Can just tell by the feel of them. They all have the butyrate plastic, the lead rattles. I don't have much experience throwing this Thunder Stick myself. I know there is a market for them, so definitely something would be cool to have at shows with us as well. Another kind of walleye bag, as long with that Fat Cat in there, was kind of an added bonus. And it's funny, you know, probably a lot of guys down the south have never seen a lot of these baits. It's because we live in the north. You know, I bought these from a guy that obviously bass and walleye fish, so had a little bit of a collection from all the years of doing all the fishing around here. Next up, another like middle to deep diver box here. Another, actually, it's not a Bagley. It's a Kencraft, related to Bagley in one way or another. Risto Wrap, Kencraft, another balsa bait I've never seen, RMG, something along them lines. A couple like Hellbender styles or mud bugs, I forget what they're called exactly. Then some natural Ike, so better stuff in here. We got a Risto Wrap 5. That's always a great crankbait that's probably going to get painted and put in my personal collection. I love me a Risto 5 this time of year specifically. Put that bag to the side. Looks like we got another walleye trolling bag here. So if you're a walleye fisherman, you're seeing a lot of baits you'd probably want. This looks like some deeper ones. We got some deep reef runners, a deep thunder stick. I think the deep thunder sticks are a little bit harder to get than the shallow ones. Nothing too fancy in there that I'm seeing other than them thunder sticks. Don't really want to get my hands all tore up and get in there for you, so just take my word for it. A lot of deep thunder sticks and more walleye plugs. And then you got this bag as well. This is actually all new in box stuff. These are all new in box, old school Hottentots. Wish these were Wiggleworts, of course, but they all are still sealed. Kind of cool to see, you know, these sealed. Whole bunch of different variety of colors in here. I mean, there's all these. They're really well kept shape. They're not beat up or anything, so a lot of cool colors. All vintage pre-Rapala Hottentots. Wish they were pre-wrap Wiggleworts, but hey, cool colors. We got some bullfrog colors. Bunch of cool stuff in there. So if you're a Hottentot collector or fisherman, I do have some myself just because they made some cool colors on them. Some cool ones to add to the collection. Speaking of Hottentots, looks like here's all the not new in box ones, but all the out of the box ones, and there looks to be about 50 to 100. Try to get these all worked out. Don't know if any are rattling or if they're any silent, but all the different sizes, all the different colors, couple crawdad colors. Might be some rattlers in there. I think the rattling Hottentots are worth a little bit more, but at the end of the day, all the Hottentots still are worth $3 to $5 each because they're an old storm bait. You know, the newer ones aren't made just like these ones. So walleye guys that like the old school stuff, definitely be looking for that bag. Find another cool one here. How about this bag right here is all more pre-Rapala Wiggleworts. These are magworts. Mags and Wees. Looks like there's about 30 or so. 30 to 50 maybe. And they actually all have the hooks off of them and everything, which helps me. But just a whole big old bunch of pre-Rapala Magnum warts. So they're really loud. They got a lot of rattles in them compared to the wiggle warts, which we'll show you here in a second. Because there is a good old box of wiggle warts. It's kind of the main reason I bought this this whole package. You know, if it was all walleye plugs, I probably wouldn't have bought it, but because this bag was in here, I bought this whole box because this bag right here pays for the box and then some. So the rest is all gravy. And this is nothing but pre-Rapala regular wiggle warts. So these are the cream of the crop right here. Bunch of wiggle warts, all have the stamp under the bill. All are pre-Rapala. Let's find one with the rattle. There's a normal rattle on a wiggle wart, so you can hear the difference. Collectible color-wise, I don't think there's any in this bag. The other bag, though, that I'm going to pull up in a second, definitely has some collectible colors in it. There's what 70-some wiggle warts look like. Just got to take the split rings off and put them in sandblaster. I've been painted up. Wish I could paint them for red crest, but we're leaving tomorrow for that. Here's the other bag of wiggle warts that we have. This one was his fishing box. You can tell just by the colors and the hook still on them. So, got a clear bill chartreuse black. There's a really good one. That's a Phantom Brown. I think that's probably a $50 to $60 wiggle wart all day. Is suspending. It's a suspending model. We got a mag wart and a regular wart in the brown and red crawdad color. Wee wart and then a couple painters. That chartreuse and that bone be a good painter. Another mag wart in bone. And we have a forget what this color's called. This glitter sparkle red. It's a little dirty, unfortunately, so I might have to see if I can clean it up. Worst case, I can paint it, but that one probably going to go in my collection just because that's a little bit harder to find color. Then we have another Phantom Brown. Again, that's a $50 bill all day. Gonna go in my collection. It's not perfect. It's not pristine by any means. We have a natural green and then a tan brown, tan green crawl. Don't know the color names because, like I said, I'm not a super big wart collector. I just love displaying them, and you know, I know the colors that are worth money. I just don't know the names of them. Moving on from those. Looks like we got some bandits. Unfortunately, it looks like most of these are post-Pradco. Right there in that mistake color. Still, I mean, that's a $5 bandit all day. Some guys get them painted. Some guys like the stock colors. Got some more natural ikes. Some Kencraft walleye trolling bugs, which is pretty cool. Haven't seen those ever. Made by Bagley's. Or made with Bagley. Then we got a bunch of, I don't know if these are Beanos or Baby Reefer. Some Brooks Baby Reefer. It's those quick fish style. I don't know the exact branding on all of them, so a little bit of everything in there. There's a couple old Rebels and Bandits at the bottom that I really don't want to get my hands hooked into. Moving on from there, we got a little bit more Hottentots. These ones look like they might be painters or selling pretty cheap. These ones look like they're pretty rough. Still good condition, just paint-wise. They're kind of beat, and they're not worth as much as a wiggle wart. So these are probably just painters or sell them to someone who's going to paint them for walleye, or if they fish for these for anything else. And lastly, looks like we kind of have another little random hodgepodge. Although I do see a couple man's baits in there, which is a good sign. You know me, I love me a man's baby 1-. After dealing with treble hooks your entire life, you kind of just get used to getting poked and prodded like this by tetanus tetanus hooks. So right there, we got a double stamp baby 1- blue shad. That's a good one. Then we got a baby X square bill, another good solid bait. By Mans, we have a Mans 8- right on top there. Some Finland shad wraps in there. Let's see if I can get a little deeper. I think I see something I want to grab for you guys. Ow. So we got a Finland shad wrap connected to this bait. This bait will go in my other collection I haven't shown you guys yet. That is a old Bill Dance bomber. I think that's the what is this? Shallow fry. So that's a cool one. I collect all the Bill Dance bombers. Maybe in another video I'll break out my collection. I probably have 1,000 of those as well. So that pretty much completes that big old box of baits. Like I said, I spent about $2,000 to get these. Mainly wanted the wiggle warts in them. That's where all the money is going to be made back pretty quick on those for me, thankfully. I do want to note, if you guys ever run across, a large amount of tackle like this and you don't know how to get rid of it, or if you need help selling it or whatever, thankfully with my business and everything, I've built up a decent way of buying and selling vintage fishing tackle. Anything fishing related, really, I buy and resell. So you guys have a bunch of this that you've acquired from a garage sale, your grandfather's collection, you don't want it, feel free to reach out to me and see if we can come up with a deal that makes everyone happy, and I'll end up with a bunch more vintage crankbaits and get you guys some money in your hands. So thank you guys for watching this. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I know there was kind of a mix of some walleye baits and then some really good wiggle warts. Just a fun time opening up a big old box of vintage tackle. Like Forrest Gump says, life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. It's like a tackle box. You're never going to know what you're going to get. So follow us everywhere you want to. FolksCustomCranks.com, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube now. Appreciate everyone's support and following. So see you in the next video.